Hello, Space Shower. Hello. Welcome to the last and final episode of Space Shower. The television's going to explode at the end of this half hour. Good night.
さあいよいよ始まる中原雅也 TV 第1回。ところで君はもうアダプテーションを見たか。始まりは2003年5月、スパイク・ジョーンズからテレビ取材のオファーが来た。ところがその取材予定日が変更につく変更。一体彼にはどんな企みが。デビュー作マルコビッチの穴から4年、現在公開中のスパイク・ジョーンズの新作アダプテーション。もう何も言わない。今すぐ、いや30分後に劇場で感じよう。スパイク・ジョーンズアダプテーション、ザ・グレート中原雅也 TV。前日突然の街頭インタビューの変更に、たまたま持ってた立体音響マイクを使ってのドキュメンタリー実に30分間。好きな人はヘッドホンで。さあ中原雅也と一緒にスパイクの脳みそを覗いてみよう。中原雅也 TV。
You hear us all right? All right, good. Okay.
もうビュープロジェクト始まっていると思うんですけど、こんな前に作った映画についてとやかく語れるっていうのは嫌じゃないですか。
It's hard to talk. It's really abstract to try and think about it because I worked on it so intensely for 3 years. We started working on it right when we finished being John Malkovich in 1999, and we worked on it for. Yeah, we started working on it right when we released it. So it was like the fall of 1999 from the fall of 2002. We've been working on it, and so now, and we worked on it so intensely to where it just consumed our lives. And so now I'm out from inside of the womb of this thing, and I'm sort of trying to get used to the world again.
要するに脚本家が語ってる脚本家の映画ですけど、それを監督するっていう立場っていうのはどういう位置に自分でいると思ってるんですか。
I think, yeah, to me it was I mean, obviously the setting was about a screenwriter, but it was not so much about, it wasn't to me a movie about screenwriting. It was a movie about, on one level, creativity and struggling with, you know, the challenges that you set upon yourself, and another part of it was more about being stuck inside your head and being stuck in your own consciousness with all of your own neuroses and insecurities and all those things that prevent you from connecting to something outside of yourself. And so I mean I think so. To me, the screenwriting was really the setting. And obviously, it ties into the structure of what you know in the film, and it works. But it's also about hopefully a lot more than just a screenwriter. Hopefully, it's about you know connecting and not connecting. And I don't know.
まあその実在の人々に対する配慮っていうのがかつてあった映画の中でも最もいろいろこうあったと思うんですけども。なんていうのかな、脚本を書いたわけじゃないんであれですけど、試写の時とかドキドキしなかったですか。
Yeah, well, I think at first there was a lot of anxiety of like, well, I'm casting somebody to play Charlie Kaufman, and Charlie Kaufman's a good friend of mine, and that's weird. Like, how do you know? Like, every time I think of Charlie, but then like after a while I got used to. Okay, these are no longer real people. These are characters that I'm responsible for, and characters that I need to connect to, and I need to feel. And I think that's the part of the movie is like when like. I think it's important for the director to feel to identify and with the different characters, and so I think the characters end up becoming further away from the real people, and they end up becoming an amalgamation of what you relate to and the actors you bring to it, and then the characters in the movie became their own people. But then it was shocking when we showed the movie back to these real people, and you suddenly realize these are real people's lives that you're making a film of. And Susan Orlean is a person who went through her own life and has had her own sadnesses that are reflected, maybe not so literally in the film, but and John LaRoche has his own traumas and tragedies that are reflected directly in the film. And then you start to realize that it's it's something you forget over the course of being absorbed in your own world and making your movie. And then when we finally did show it to them, it was sort of shocking to remember that these are real people. Should we keep walking and keep?
いろいろしてて、
あの人さん
それをお前のためにやったんだぞって
This is good.
本気が増
This
し
is
て
good for the show.
ですね、僕のうがった見方かもしれませんけど、この映画の中でなんていうのかな、彼が脚本家の彼がこう変わっていこうとするわけですね。それとあとですね、なんていうんですか、PV から始まって映画制作に移行していったわけですけども、その中でどこかそうですそういう感覚でものをやることと、劇映画を作るということ、一般向けの劇映画を作るってことのに対するなんていうのかな、戸惑いみたいな、それもすでにもう一本作ってますけど、前よりこっちの方がある意味ではもっとなんていうのかな、物語を追求している方じゃないですか、作品としては。そういうのっていうのがダブってくるんですけど、どうですかと。
I see it. Yeah, I mean, I feel like, as I was saying earlier, I relate. Like I was talking to Charlie, and Charlie says that when you write, there's a piece of you in every character, and I feel like it relates to directing too, because if you're directing a scene, you need to know what it's about for the character, and you need to feel it, you need to associate it with yourself, and you need to look at yourself in a way that is sometimes not fun to look at, not pleasant to look at, but you look at yourself to really relate to the characters. And even before we're shooting, just working on the script with Charlie, like talking about things that make sense or don't make sense in the process, in the script. You need, there's parts of the script that I don't relate to, and then we talk about it. He explains it to me, and then I understand, or we talk about it and talk ourselves, and end up rewriting the script, changing the script, and but yeah, I mean, I think there's just being in your head and being in your thoughts, and as opposed to being in the world and being like so caught up in like, oh, what's this person thinking? What is that person thinking? What did that person mean by that? And replaying conversations in your head, or as you're talking to somebody, not really listening to them, being stuck in your own thoughts of like, what is he thinking, or what are they thinking, and it's just, it's not, I mean, it definitely goes through, and so that's part, there's definitely, I mean, just as far as that one thing, as far as Charlie's character, and I think Charlie's character is defined by much more than that, but I think that's one aspect that is, that I definitely relate to. And as far as, I don't know, go ahead, sorry.
ある意味プロモーションビデオでやってて、こうやって PV をやってて、こうやって劇映画を撮るとなると、アイディアだけではできない部分があるじゃないですか。そういう部分がある意味陳腐で、分かりやすくやればやるほど陳腐で、時折バカバカしくなったりとかすることはないですか？
劇場用映画みたいな
ものを作ってて、そういう普通の部分っていうか、伝わりやすい部分っていうのを、物語として伝わりやすい部分をやればやるほど、ある意味この陳腐さが耐えられなくなったりとかしませんかと。
No, I think let's keep walking and let's keep talking.
Yeah.
No, I think in terms of making, I think probably making movies is the most stimulating and exciting and challenging, and I love it. It's fun making videos and making skate videos and taking photos and just making stuff that's over a shorter period of time that takes like a month or two, but to make a film that takes 3 years, it's hard and frustrating because it's so all-consuming and depressing sometimes, because when it's not working, you know, it really. Should we go this way? When it's not working, it feels really depressing, but it's also the most satisfying. And I love making films because of the. Oh, you want to go downstairs?
Yeah.
Okay. Making movies is frustrating for me. It's because because the characters and the stories are part of me, and that's what I mean. Are you what part of it would be frustrating? I guess is my question. Like I'm not sure what the.
Because you have to, you will see that because you have to tell a story, and then but the audience have to understand. Like so, just making it so easy for them to understand. Because it, sometimes.
Oh yeah.
Nice. Yeah, wait, this is good. Should we walk through here?
Yeah.
No, yeah, it's not, I enjoy that part of it. I like. I mean, sometimes it is. You show it to people, and there's things they do or don't understand, and then you figure out, well, is that something that we need to be clear, or is it okay that can be left to the somebody's interpretation and somebody's imagination, but you figure out those are just decisions during the editing that you think about.
その世界からこう行くとそういう仕事に対してある意味こう
ビデオから行くと
そのビデオってのは要するにある意味説明が必要ない部分もあるじゃないですか。それをある程度こう分かりやすく説明するってことに対して生じる陳腐さですよっていうのはどう思うかという話だったんですよね。
No, I don't feel cheap because I guess my natural sensibility isn't to make really obscure esoteric things. Like I mean I think that's like I feel like the movies I made are my natural sensibility in terms of if I was left to my own means and I had no responsibility to the audience, I don't think I would make some hour-and-a-half sort of sound music collage or something, or I think that's just not my natural. That's not what I'm naturally drawn to make. I'm drawn to telling stories, and even in my music videos, I feel like a video with Christopher Walken dancing. To me, that has a whole story. It's about this traveling businessman who is, in the same hotel by the airport in every city he goes to. He's in a different city every night, but he's in the same hotel, and this is his. This is a form of his fantasy and his escape to try and escape this life that he's stuck in. And I don't know, to me it has a whole world to it, and so I guess that I'm always, even on videos or even in escape videos, there's a story I'm telling and a feeling that which I think so. I don't know, does that make any sense?
いやある意味羨ましいところでもあるからやっぱりこう感覚だけで物ができると思って信じ込んで若い頃は自分もやってきたけどもそこに無理があることを感じていたんですが彼はその壁をこうある意味で乗り越えているところは羨ましいなという話です。ビデオからね劇映画の中で、僕はでもだから言いたかったことはその途中で絶対その描写っていうことに対する照れとかそういうことってのがあるんじゃないかと僕はちょっと思ったわけですよね。人物に。
Yeah, and I think I think it's a constant struggle to try and figure out, to always be making stuff and see other people being really successful and because our movies aren't big movies. We don't, it's like our movies. We make our movies inexpensively so they can be what what we want them to be, but they're not we're not making Men in Black. They're not movies that are making $100 million, but that's okay. But I mean, there's times where should I be making movies that more people are going to see, sort of caught between that? But and I think that's a natural, constant struggle that you're. That it's asking those questions that always makes you come back and figure out what is important to you and what you want to make for yourself. So, Does that answer? I don't know if that answers.
なんかそれがその答えになってるかどうかわからないんだけどって。
I don't know. I'm just sort of. I feel like I'm rambling a little bit.
なんかごちゃごちゃ言ってるだけで答えになってないかもしれないと。
いいですよ。本当は映画が答え、それで映画を見れば答えが出てくるんです。
Maybe your work speaks itself. Maybe your work is the answer.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I got it. It's good. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that is better. It's better that way than me trying to.
取られた。
You're probably not supposed to be working.
Okay.
Okay, should we cross this way?
What are you guys doing? Taking
A movie. Shower, space shower. We're making space shower. We're making space shower TV.
You have a permit to do that in your garage?
No.
Oh, okay. Don't put me on.
Okay.
遊んでるだけだ。
It's just for space shower.
遊んでるだけだ。
What is space shower?
The space shower is from Tokyo.
Huh?
It's from Tokyo.
Oh. Okay. In the future, if you want to shoot something down here,
Yeah.
you have to get a little permit.
Okay. All right, we'll do that next time. All right, thank you.
Oh, I'm gonna be in the movie now, right?
Yeah. What's your name?
Deborah.
I'm Spike.
Hi, Sky.
Nice to meet you. Bye. We need a permit next time.
Yeah.
That's actually he cannot put it in the
ダメだよ
word.
そこ入っちゃう。本当ちょうだ
Yeah,
よ。
we can cut through. We'll just keep going all the way up. Okay, let's go in here.
関係ある質問かもしれないですけど。これはファミリーに入ったってことのこうプレッシャーはないのかと。
ちょっとはありますね。
おお。
Should we go in here? Let's go in here.
そうだよ。やばいですよ。
おお。や。
ただ単に勝手に歩いてただけです。
わ
そうです。ハイヒールまずいんじゃない。
ちょっと怖いかも。
お。うわ。
Perfect.
この映画のニコラス・ケイジは悲惨な感じのジン・ワイルダーに見えたんですけど、聞こえた？
I'm gonna guess what you said. Is there a reason that Nicolas Cage looks like Gene Wilder?
Yeah.
And he said actually a miserable version of
Oh, miserable version.
Gene Wilder.
No, I think we were just like Nicholas and I were creating the character, trying out. Like I went over to his house, and as we developed the look, it went through many different incarnations. And once we got to that look, we were like, this feels right for the character. This feels right. And then just by coincidence, it was the bonus fact that he happened to look like Gene Wilder too. So we got we killed two birds with one stone. We got to create the character, and then we also got this bonus fact of having Gene Wilder in our movie.
でも撮影中は全然そんなことは全く思わなかった。
We did joke about it. We did joke about it. Yeah.
目が特に似てるな。
Especially eyes.
Yeah, he has really blue eyes. I love Gene Wilder though.
Me too.
So, me and Nicholas talked a lot about because we kept thinking, we kept talking about Gene Wilder, and then Nicholas and I wanted to go meet Gene Wilder, go work with him, and we kept thinking we got to do a movie with Gene Wilder for real.
まだ全然言ってないんですか本人は。
Have you?
No, but I want to. I want to go meet him. Or I had a short film idea I want to do with him. But
彼に
そういうなんかメリル・ストリップとかそういう人とこう仕事するのはどうなのかと。
I was surprised how quickly I got comfortable with her. I was nervous that I didn't know she was going to be want direction or how we'd work together. And with every actor is so different. You have to figure out like how they work and sort of step back and see how they like to work and how they like to be directed. And with her, I didn't know if she'd want to be directed or wanted to just sort of do her thing. But she was really open. I had a great time with her because she was just very present and real and super.
仕事
そういう人たちに怒られて仕事をしなくなったとかそんなないんですか？
あ、そういう偉大な役者たちに。
No, I got John Malkovich yelled at me, but
ジョン・マルコビッチの怒られたことある。
but he was but it wasn't like it wasn't like that was the way he was the whole time. He came into the movie, and once he decided the movie, he just gave himself over to us. But there were times where we'd be moving really slow, and we'd be like tired and like not working, fast, and he'd get tense, and he'd yell at us, and then I'd feel bad, but and I'd feel okay, and I'd feel like we had to move faster. But then as soon as he did, like I remember the one time he did. He only yelled at me once, but after he did, I could tell he felt bad, and then he was like totally like, well, whatever you guys want, and so, but it's natural. I mean, it's normal that it's not so much that he's a big time actor. It's more that like when you work with anybody and you're in a close, intense, very tense, making a movie, you have 12 hours a day, you have 40 days. This is the amount of time you have, and the film you shoot. That film is there forever. Like those shots, one of those takes is going to be the take in the movie, and that's going to be the movie forever. And there's a tension and anxiety to that because you want, you have all these ideas of the way you want it to be. So it's not so much that he yelled at me because he was a star. It's that he yelled at me because he is a creative person under tension, and we all are. So when it's like me and my cameraman, we get in fights and argue and then we laugh about it on the drive home, and but I mean I think that's normal. But it was funny at the time.
いやでも大スターと仕事するのはストレスがねたまにそうだからもう1人2役の技術を使って最初だけ来てもらってあとは全部 CD でもいいんじゃないですかと。
There's actually it's being in a band. I'm sure there's a certain tension and you get in arguments with the people in your band, right?
1人しかいない。
Oh, so you don't.
だからわからない。
So he doesn't understand.
But then, because do you know Cody Chestnut?
What?
A musician named Cody Chestnut.
コディ・チェスナーっていうミュージシャン知ってますか？ He doesn't know.
Oh, he has a good song about being in a band and fighting and fighting with your band members.
その彼歌を書いたんですね。
And how it sort of freaks other people don't like think it's really bad, but he says no, it's part of that's part of rock and roll, and that's part of being in a band, and that's part of being creative. Is it's emotional.
じゃあそんな激しくぶつかったりするんですか？
With I mean not a lot. We're not, but it's out of love. We fight, but it's like the cameraman is one of my best friends, and on the set we'll totally fight and get mad at each other. Not in a general sense. I mean, I'm sure, I look at people who make movies, like I look at David Fincher and the way he makes movies, and he's so meticulous and so controlled, and every time the camera moves, it's saying something specific, and every time everything about it is so specific that I'm in awe of that jealous stuff. I don't know if that's me. I mean, I'd like to learn. I'd like to be in control because I focus more on the performances and sometimes want to simplify the visuals. But that's one thing maybe I'd like to focus on. And at the same time, it's I don't want to just be. I want to make my own movie. I want it needs to feel natural to what I want to do, and I feel like the visual styles of the movies aren't flashy, but I feel like the two movies I made, they're appropriate to the story I was telling.
やばいです。どうするんですか？
Bye, Spike.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks for having me.